Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And it is now time to take a look at the new Destroyer Princess Shuna in the Milim outfit. And she seems to be an okay unit. I think she's at least serviceable for a number of teams, quote unquote, that would be blue focused. Her skill is pretty limited, but because Tempest Elite is the biggest team in the game with a lot of options, it does give her a little bit more flexibility than other teams that are like Stern of Spirit or Wielder of Magic, where they only have maybe 10 or less total units to use. Tempest Elite has a lot, so she is a single target. She is wind. She uses a claw, so if you have like a wind Milim built, you can just use that. 300% AoE, and then lowers physical resistance by 15% on her ult effect. Her first skill, Guaranteed Pierce and Guaranteed Pierce Power by 30% for 3 turns for 55 points. That's pretty good. Pierce is not the best buff in the world, but if it's a 55 and it lasts for multiple turns, I can't really complain about that on a Pierce-focused team. So I think that'll be good, and if in the future, if you need a Pierce unit, this is generic, right? It's all allies. It's not, only Tempest Elite and Pretty Sparkle get Pierce Power or something like that, or only Tempest Elite gets the Pierce rate, and then Pierce Powers for everybody, which means you need someone else to get Pierce. Like, it's not limited like that we've seen, and it's because Pierce inherently is not a super great buff. So at least it's very generic. And then the second skill changes all Tempest Elite orbs into blues. So if your entire front line is Tempest Elite units, or you all have orbs for Shuna, or something along the lines of that, all of them will be converted into blues automatically, which is great, because it's like a one-turn change everything. It does cost 35 points, though, which doesn't seem like that bad of a thing, but if you use the skill twice, it's now 75 points, and that's like your primary orb change right there. And this team isn't getting like that many points. It's not a stacking team where you have 300 points to play with on any turn after like turn 4. So its limitations will become very apparent. And then the 25% damage buff is cool, and it will affect how much the follow-up orb damage does. And at least that's nice. Valor trait seals attack skills in Valor. We're not going to go into that. And then her actual trait, if you have a dupe or something, is lowers defense after sending 6 blues, which honestly, it's pretty negligible. So I think Shuna's skills can be applied to a number of teams. It's just that I don't know if those teams are just straight up good enough, right? If we filter by Tempest Elite here, we have 10 free-to-play units, Gobta, Ranga, Gabiru, Geld, Xion, Ranga, Xion, Benimaru, Gobta, this Wind Shuna is free to play. Like, there's a lot of free to play options, and then we have a whole bunch of maybe old DPS units that may or may not want to be running a blue team. Xion, Diablo, old EX Benimaru, or not EX, but just old Benimaru, Dark Rimuru. We have 3 EX characters on this entire Tempest Elite team right now, and we're only going to get 2 more. So already, would I consider this a good roster or a bad roster? And I think it's actually more towards middle to bad, because there's only 3 units. There's only 3 meta relevant units right now. Shuna herself, Idol Shuna, who is Synergy, which you don't want to use in this beatdown battle, and then Vengeance Shuna, who is wonky on her own goddamn team, all things considered. So quantity over quality, I would say, is not really that what we're looking for. But we're going to try and make use of her on a number of teams, and we'll see how it goes. Alright, this is the first team we're going to use. Very reminiscent of what we used for the trainee showcase. Gobta, Shuna, Rimuru, Shuna, and instead of Hinata, we're going to bring Fount of Wisdom Rimuru with an 80-point skill, an orb change, but he's not on Tempest Elite for some reason. I don't really get it, but they put some Rimurus on, but not others. Debatable. But, we've got the physical buff, the pierce buff, the attack buff, and the ult resistance down, and the ult buff. So we'll see how much damage we can actually get out of this. Alright, turn 1, Gob to Orb Change. I mean, he's going to be probably the most useful unit out of anything coming out of this meta. What I'm going to foretell. These skills are generic and useful on any blue team, so I think he's going to be fairly good. So let's get you in here, let's get you in here for the protection trait from Shion that's underneath you. And we'll go ahead and send these blues. We'll get a double stack of trainee next turn from the traits, which will be good. And then we can just automatically give Shuna an EX ult, just straight up. And here, it's like, oh, look at this hand. It's actually terrible. But it's not, because we can change it around. So if we take Fount of Wisdom Rimuru away, and we bring in Space Rimuru, everybody on the front line is now part of the Tempest Elite category. So if we do this, then boom, they're all blues. Doesn't matter what color it is. Doesn't matter if they're all, Space Rimuru orbs. They're all blues now, which is powerful. It's now a 55-point skill, though. Now it's as expensive as all the other buffs we've got going on, except the 80-point buff here. But the 3-turn Pierce buff, we can also use. So now we've got this for 3 turns. So we're looking fairly good. So we'll do that. There's the automatic EX gauge, or the alt gauge for their highest attacking character. And now all of our orbs will have that follow-up effect from training, plus the extra 70% skill point buff. Now, we could use this again, get her EX buff, and then just send her away. But I think we'll do that next turn. So we'll just send these orbs, and then we'll bring Fount of Wisdom Rimuru back. We'll put the big-time buff on him, and then we'll get everyone out of here. Alright, 30k. I mean, maybe I should have gone to a higher stage. Looks like they're not going to survive that long. Alright, oh look, no blues again. Who'da thunk? It's kind of unfortunate. Alright. Actually, you know what? Let's go to a higher stage. I don't want them to die immediately, so hold on, we're going to make a cut. Alright, yeah, look at this god-awful hand right here. This, in any normal event, would be a death sentence and be, okay, let's reset. But not here. We're gonna be okay. Like, we could change 4 of these. We'd still have 1 left over. But let's bring Gobta in now. And then let's take let's take old Shuna out. And now, again, we have a full hand. And voila. All blues. Very powerful skill. Very powerful skill. But you do have to be on Tempest Elite to make it actually work. So that's the only thing. Good thing is that there are a butt ton of Tempest Elite characters. So, you can get a little bit more use out of this than what one would expect. Most of the time. So let's do these attacks. Yeah, okay, that's a lot better. They're not dying nearly as fast now, because they've got like over double the HP. I think EX2 has like 155k HP, and then Inferno 1 has like 500,000. Okay, Space Rimuru is type disadvantage though, so that's not really the greatest thing in the world. Alright, so let's do the alt swap here, and then we can lower the pierce resistance. Cool. Let's give her the extra alt gauge. Boom. And now we have 98 points. So let's go ahead and apply the physical buff now. And then we'll send him away. So now we have the pierce and we have the physical buff. So now we just need to get 110 points to be able to use the attack buff and the alt buff with this Shuna. Which, I don't know how actually usable that's going to be. We're going to have to do a few giveaway turns right here. So let's just go ahead and send these Rimuru orbs. And then hopefully next turn we can look pretty good. Sure. That's not really what I was going for, game. Okay. Not really what I was going for. Thanks a bunch. Alright, let's do that. Let's do this. Can we get up to 110 points with that last final turn of the 30? I don't actually know. I don't actually know if we can. No, we should be able to. Alright, here we go. I think we're ready. With the 30 points, that'll put us over 110, and we'll be okay. Boom, boom, boom. All right, there's the 80-point seal, which, sucks because Rimuru is sealed, but we've already used his skill, so it's not that impactful. All right, good. So now let's bring you in for, Rimuru, I guess. Boom. And then we'll take Gobta out for Space Rimuru, and now we will full nuke here. So alt buff, not that, attack buff plus the alt resistance down. And we have the EX alt with Shuna, who's already got the pierce and the physical buff. Let's put the follow-up orbs on her, and let's see how much damage she alone can do as not a type advantage nuker. I actually am not expecting to kill here, though. That's the thing. So let's go ahead and turn the animation on for her, just so we can watch it, and let's see what we get here. Alright. What, Ogre Blaster or something like that? Ogre Buster. There you go. There you go. Alright, what do we get here? 400k? 362. Alright, and then we're going to do about 90 something on the follow-up. Oh, 112. Alright, that's a little better. Alright, so 1, 2, and then the final orb. Does it actually kill? It does not. Okay, well... yeah, okay, fine. Hopefully she doesn't die. Alright, so we're good. Continuous heal. How much health does she have left? 5,000. Yeah, okay. I think we'll be fine. Alright, there we go. Okay, we won. So... 360k on the AoE alt, on the EX AoE alt. Granted, again, she is not the DPS unit. She is just a support that happens to be AoE. So we're still going to wait. I'm sure Fire Benimaru, when he comes out, is going to do like 1 million each or something like that. Maybe. I don't know. But Shuna, I think, is a serviceable support unit. But we do need to wait and see the final team that she will be supporting, as far as giving her a grade for this meta. So now let's take her out of this beatdown. Let's put her with a bunch of other old Tempest Elite characters and see how she can support them in maybe a better function. Alright guys, I've made this magical team for you. We're going to go into the Space 2.0 Tempered Edge. It doesn't nerf blue gauge, only blue damage, which I'm not overly concerned about. They are wind units, so the fire follow-up... well, actually, we're not going to get fire follow-up attacks. We're going to use Space Yuki to nuke with the power of Shuna's Pierce buff, plus the alt buff, plus the weakness buff, plus Yuki's own buffs. But we have 3 units that are on Tempest Elite. We have Shizu, who's going to be able to swap an alt away. And we're going to bring Water Soe, because this will mean that we start the fight with 36 points, which means that as long as we bring this Shuna up to the front, no matter what hand we get turn 1, guaranteed blues. All RNG out of there. So I think this will be an efficient use of her, and probably how a lot of people should run this if they have access to these skill point traits, but let's try it out. Wow. Look at that hand. We're running... I want to run a blue team, and the game did not give me blues, but it doesn't matter, right? So we'll take this out, and then we have 36 points, and voila. Full hand of blues. And they're damage buffed. And now we can just get Geld out of here, and we can bring Yuki in, because he is the nuker, quote-unquote. And now we're looking pretty good. Look at this. We started with a natural full hand of blues. Don't ask questions. Just accept it. Alright, we do have a water unit up front, though, which isn't the greatest, but hey, it is what it is. We have 49 points, but Romarus, in case you're not familiar with ever using Romarus, has 3 turns of 45% passive alt gauge gain, and she gives you 40 skill points, and a space attack buff. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. What are we going to do about that? Well, we can pray that this orb change from Shuna hits this Yuki orb. It sure did. Alright, look at that. And then, technically, we could use Romarus. Boom. give ourselves 40 skill points, and now we can do this again, because this last orb is Tempest Elite, and boom. Alright, we're looking good. Alright, and I've got the protection gate, or I've got the skill points on Blue Charm on now, so we're going to get a lot of skill points. We got a double Rammers, which means we got 80 skill points in the bag for next turn, where we're still binded. So as long as, again, we can get either no Yuki orbs, or one orange that we can convert, or not, well, no, we can make this work, actually. There's an alt. That's unfortunate. Doesn't really matter, though. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to do this. Boom. Convert these Shuna orbs. We're going to double use Ramirus now to give us 80 points. Okay, let's turn that off. And that'll have enough points to, again, let us use the orb change. See, it all works out. There's a plan here. Alright, and then, you know what? We're going to do it again. Just for the points, because we're going to make a lot of it back. And now we can use Yuki's attack buff, because it does last for 3 turns. So now we can just kind of nuke away. And we're going to get 45% alt gauge here again, plus these orbs, which aren't going to give us a lot. But, I mean, we're doing okay. Yuki, doesn't have any of the other buffs, so he's not going to do, like, that much damage. Also, I hate how, like, blurry his ult looks sometimes. Like, the camera just refuses to focus on him until now. 35k. Incredible. I'm losing my mind. Alright. So, boom. Awesome. We're no longer binded. Alright, that's a terrible looking hand right there. Ow. That hurt. But, oh look, there's another alt. Look at all the alts. Look at them. Alright. What do we want to do here? Probably Pierce Buff. Probably send Yuki away now. Yeah. Yeah, look at that. Does Shuna have a highest attack stat here? 11, 1, 10? You definitely don't have it. Yeah. Alright, let's do some funky things here. Let's change those to blues. And then let's use Ramirus to give us 40 points again. And then we'll use Guild to send them all to Shuna. Oh man, what is this team? Alright, and that's 48 points. Not another Ramirus, though. That's unfortunate. Alright, Shuna, 14k on type disadvantage. Hopefully Shuna doesn't die. That's the only kind of big danger that we're in now. Oh, please don't die. Don't die. Don't do it. Oh, good, you didn't die. Alright. So, you need to go away now. You need to leave. Boom. Okay. We could alt swap, and we could run with 4 blues. That'll give us another Ramirus. I think that's what we should do. Yeah, I think that's the only thing we really should do here. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 81 points plus the 40 we're going to get, so that should be enough to use everything. Maybe not the AoE alt resistance down debuff, but it'll be enough to use the alt buff and the weakness strike from Shizu. Okay. Perfect, actually. That worked out fairly well. Geld, you go away. Boom. Shizu, you use your weakness strike. That'll help Yuki out. And then we'll bring Shuna in for Shizu, who doesn't have an orb, but we've got 40 points from Ramirus, and that will be enough to use the alt buff. And let's see how much pathetic damage Yuki can put out. But let's actually send Shuna first, because she has an EX alt, and she is going to lower physical attack resistance, which will help Yuki do a bit more damage. And then we'll just send all this, and we'll see how it goes. Shuna, 45k, alright, not great. Yuki, 100... Okay, 120, 140k. That's actually a lot more than I thought he was going to do. And we didn't have the AoE alt resistance down debuff, because we didn't have enough points for that. You know, for how wonky that is, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. So, okay, all right. I think that worked better because we got points every time we used the protector and not passively like Trainee gives, because Trainee eventually will run out and stop giving you points. Ramaris, as long as you have her, she's going to give you 40 points. And you see, you may not get it for free, but you can always get more. I think that says something about Trainee more than anything else. Shuna definitely came in clutch, though. We used her a lot. We used her a lot on this stage, and we made it work. Okay, my opinion of Shuna has slightly improved. Let's try something else. Alright. We're back in the beatdown battle. And this time we're going to use the Pretty Sparkle team, because the new Shuna is on Pretty Sparkle. And we're going to start again with Soe to give us the 36 skill points turn 1. And because both of these Shunas are also on Tempest Elite, right? You're on Tempest Elite. That means that we can bring them both in turn 1 for Mirai and Tsubasa, and we can get that turn 1 orb change into 6 blues. And then turn 2, we can just use Rimuru. So, in theory, this should work. And while the stage does have magic resistance, and we won't be able to use the synergy power from this Shuna, we should be okay still. We should be okay, quote unquote. Alright, so turn 1, we gotta bring the Shunas in. So in for Mirai, in for Tsubasa, and then we'll use just the whole orb change right here. Boom, 6 blues, perfect. Go ahead and send it. Shuna will be last because she is fire, and she'll do a little bit extra damage. Alright, yeah, kinda, yeah. But now, we're pretty much never gonna take damage after this point. Everyone's on Pretty Sparkle. Everyone will be invincible, or have the capability of being invincible, and look at that. And look at that. So, we've been crit and synergy debuffed. Tragic, I know. But now, you just go away. I think, yeah. I think we do this, and we just do these live mode. Ooh, okay, so we only have 49 points. Okay. Okay, well, we'll use the live mode. And put it on you, boom, and then we'll use Rimuru to convert all these to greens, which are not nerfed, and then everyone's, and then we're good. No one can take damage. And let's just go ahead and keep sending on now Milim, and we'll be looking good. And now we just spit in the face of whatever you want to do to us, because we're just going to sit there, and we're just going to giggle at you. This might take a while. Certainly. Oh, look, invincible. Oh, look. Oh, look. Look at that shit. Alright, and Rimuru is passively resetting skills, so now, technically, if we had some random hand of just Shuna orbs, which we almost did, we could use the full blue again. Like, we could. It wouldn't be really plausible to do so, but we could. But we can certainly use the weakness strike. We could use the pierce power now. And use Rimuru again. And now everyone's going to be doing more damage because of the pierce. Everyone's going to do more damage because of the magic attack. Well, at least Idle Shuna and Shizuka will, because new Shuna is physical. But it's okay, because she's giving us the pierce. So we'll do... Actually, no, we're sending it on a Milim, right? Actually, no, I won't send it on Trainee, because she's got that heal thing, and we're not really using any big-time buffs here, so Milim isn't really a threat anymore. Trya, with her continuous heal for 5 turns, is a threat. Trya, yes. Trya, not Trainee. Okay, and look, we have 2 ults. What are we going to do about them? It's terrible. Oh, right. Idle Shooter can just swap those. Get out of here. Alright. And we'll use the live mode again. Boom. And yeah. I think we're looking okay. It's gonna take a long time, so I think I'm gonna make a quick cut until we get to a point where they're almost dead. But we will be back, because this is gonna take probably like 30 minutes. Okay, we're back on turn 11. Ranga's dead. They lose a lot of buffs, actually, after a while, and then they get it all back. So now they've got magic attack forever, attack buff back up. Rongo is giving them the earth attack and everything like that, so that's no longer active, but they do have the continuous heal now from Traya. But I think we should be okay, all things considered. So we'll do some more buffs with Shizuka, sorry. And I think, we'll win, because we're either going to kill Traya here or get her very close to death on this turn. Probably very close. I don't think we're actually going to kill her. Well, no, actually, she's dead. Never mind. Okay. Granted, this is Inferno 1, I think. So there are stages of difficulty. Alright, so you've got to heal now. Yeah, 565. This is Inferno 1. So it gets a lot harder. And we'll do this, and we'll do the alt swap now that's been reset back down. Perfect. We took Wind Shuna out of here. Like, she's good for a little bit. We could bring her back now, but she's not gonna have the invincibility. So it is what it is. We'll bring her back next turn. And I guess we'll have Mirai hit an EX alt with the Pierce buff. And we'll see how much damage that does after stacking for quite a while. But this team can definitely do it. It's got the potential. It's got the punch. It just takes a hot minute to get to that point. So let's go ahead and take Shizu. No, actually, let's not do that. Let's do just this live mode, because the weakness buff won't apply to Mirai. And then we could do the attack buff for Tsubasa. Nah, whatever. We'll do this. You boom, get out of here. Alright, and then we'll do that. Pierce buff, plus the EX alt, plus all the stacking shenanigans that we've had done for the past while. The magic attack and the attack buff. What is Mirai sitting at right now? 90% attack, so we've gotten 70% extra. Plus 84% magic attack from Rimuru. And the weakness strike, again, it doesn't matter. It doesn't apply to her. So, if she doesn't kill, Fire Shuna will. 191. There we go. Okay. She can work. She can work on the idle team, obviously. And you can bring the idle team in here and you can clear it. I'm sure we can clear Inferno 3 using this team, and that will be its own video eventually. But there we go. New Wind Shuna is definitely a support unit and can be used in scenarios. But we're gonna have to wait and see how valuable she becomes once the rest of the meta comes out, and we know exactly what DPS we're buffing and what other buffs we're working with. But for now, I think she's fine. She's not super good. She's not, I would say, bad by any means. The skills are usable. So we're going to have to wait and see and grade her accordingly towards the end of the meta. But let me know what you guys think of this new Shuna. That's it for me. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.